All right. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Hey, everybody. Hello. So, I want to talk about a few things. Um, the biggest thing is going to be probably that I'm going to allow a Zoom after all. And it'll be part of the. I might add like mechanics to that Zoom to make sure I don't talk too close into the mic. Sorry. I'll figure it out. I don't know. It's in a weird spot because I'm using my tablet right now. So what I'm gonna do, and to make it look a little bit better, and I'll talk more about that when we get to that. Right now I'm in Photoshop, and then we'll move out of Photoshop. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm kind of going in and shading in the little sprites, um, in the thing. So like, do I have a before and after for this? Kind of. It's too much stuff to worry about though. And I don't even know if you could pick that up. But here will be a good thing. So like when you are zoomed in, I've done everything that I can to make sure that things are as smooth looking as possible. But realistically, it's going to be a little bit jank no matter what. So what I'm doing to kind of help mitigate that just a little bit and kind of stylize it is I'm actually going into the sprites in their most pixelated form to add to all of that so that it looks a little more, it's a little bit better, you know, when you're closer up. And since I'm doing this on the sprites themselves, if it doesn't look good, I still have the ability to throw the original version on. So yeah, especially because like they're always small, right? They're teeny tiny from a distance, and even when you're zoomed in, which will be a little bit later in the video if you want to see the actual stuff in game, then you can scroll to where you see the gameplay itself. But the conversation still needs to be had. So like if you look at like this one for example, could be a little bit darker, could be a little bit nicer. So what I'm just doing is, am I not? Oh, there's so many things here. What I'm just doing is I am just kind of filling in those spaces a little bit, and it's not going to be perfect no matter what. I don't think. Alternatively, I could probably also make it probably also make the lines just thicker on the original, but I don't really want to do that. This is a better way, I think, ultimately to do this. I think just because I think so. And if there is a little bit of discrepancy between, say, like one sprite and another sprite, it'll have an artistic interest to it in that it will how do I, it'll have lines moving around in an interesting manner. I could also just mirror this so that that's not like a thing. But I mean, this is such a simple thing to do, and it just makes shading really easy to do because like I think I'm just kind of discovering this as I go along here. But I think that doing it this way is gonna be really cool. And if it's not, then that's a pain in my ass. But for now, we're gonna assume that it's not a pain in my ass and that it'll be a cool thing. I'm gonna at least get the down walking one done real quick, and then we will just scoot straight into the video and I'll talk a little bit more about stuff and an update, okay? Alright. Okay, so now we're going to test this out, and there might be other stuff that I need to talk about. But first, the main thing is going to be the zoom. Gosh, I feel like I've talked about a lot in my last video, and there's not too much new to talk about now. I'm curious, like, how this is gonna look ultimately. But you know, the screen's kind of small, so having the zoom in, the intent is for it to look a lot nicer, and I think it does. In fact, now the screen that I'm currently watching on is the same screen I was just drawing on. But I think having that added little bit is kind of nice, and especially for like the way it changes, like the way of the art of everything is really cool. It's still like it's still together, but it also has like I'm just happy with how that worked out. Now the zooming on smaller screens is still small, but on the bigger screen it makes a big difference. Like that's quite a zoom in, you know what I'm saying? So let me see. Let me grab this, make sure it is on the right thing. And then where would the character be? Hold on. All right. I think that's a nice little effect. It's like way more darked in, but it's way more stylized and still looks good from a distance. In fact, it looks a lot better. So I'm happy with that. Now, but I wanted to have the zoom for quality of life. But I feel like I've made it as good as I can. Now, when you do zoom, if you look on the top right, there's a little eyeball. So one important thing about doing this in this way, I love that. I love what how the shading changes. Now, one thing about doing it this way is that I think the hub is a good spot to show. Is that on these maps where there isn't scrolling, which I still want to keep it that way because it's a really nice juxtaposition. On these maps, it doesn't scroll even when you're zoomed in, right? So the way it works here is it zooms into what makes the most sense and was capable of the camera zooming relative to your character's position, right? Like it can't zoom more to the right because there's nothing there. I would have to draw the maps bigger and then have like something to keep them from being able to walk around, like move the camera in those specific maps to keep that effect, or just have them zoomable. But I feel like it loses. I feel like that's not. I don't want it to do that. I like this effect. So the trade-off, unfortunately, here is that the way that the zooming works here is different, which I don't hate. Like I said, like I want there to be like a mechanic aspect of it, not like you're a mechanic. You know what I mean. Hold on. You know? Yeah, I think that looks better. With the way that I was darkening the lines and make them a little bit. I mean, none of it's too crazy on a smaller screen. but on like a big like my like 32-inch gaming monitor. It is a 32-inch monitor, but or 30-inch. I think it's a 30-inch, 29, 28-inch. I'm not sure. It's a larger one though. It's a lot more noticeable when you zoom in the things. So let's talk about our girl over here. So you have the usual things where you click, and she's got her own thing now. They got her own thing. Face my divinity. But also when you click behind her, it says release your gaze from my rear. See? Release your gaze from my rear. But watch her face. Watch Lamb's face when I do it. Oh yeah. I fucking love Lamb. That's another fun thing that I kind of just discovered to do, is little animated things like that. But yeah, so that is the trade-off to doing it that way. But like I said, I don't think that sacrificing like the juxtaposition between outside and inside in terms of scroll and not scroll is worth it. I don't think it is. So it's just going to be like that, which is a little bit weird, but like I said, I want the zoom, if it's going to be there, I want it to have some kind of vibe to it, and I think that feels also kind of in line of how I want it to be, where there's like this sensation of experience consciousness. You know what? Does that make sense? So like, for example, if you haven't picked it up already, when you click on, you get the different dialogue boxes. You have that one, and then you have this one. It's got eyeballs, and it's got like little meaty, bloody, whatever those are. It's the intent there is to give off the feeling of a conversation with one's own consciousness. You know what I mean? An outside and an inside. So yeah, this little area, little beach, is still getting, made up. Everything's still getting made up. But let's see, what is there anything else that I really needed to talk about other than that? I guess the other thing is I really like. I mean, it's kind of more work. It's kind of more. Where am I at? It's kind of more work to shade the sprites in the thing, but it's really easy, and I really enjoy that, like the bloody sprite that needs to be redone, as well as the walking up sprite for a childhood version of you. Also, there's some weird shit going on there. The way that the bloody sprite works, where the blood stains are like different per movement, it's really cool looking. This has that same cool crayon drawn kind of thing to it, which I really wanted originally. I'm loving this. This makes me really happy. I'm glad that turned out well. But yeah, so I'll have a zoom in and a zoom out option, and it'll play like there will be some kind of substance to it, some kind of real reason for that to exist. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the plan with that, so that like I could really justify there being a difference, because I have originally designed the game around. First of all, this doesn't look as good. It doesn't look bad, especially depending on the screen that you have, apparently. But it doesn't look as good as it does further away. And also the way in which I've designed everything is around this 1080p, this 16:9, this distance, like the ratios and the distance from player to screen and everything. But I also feel like there's a lot of value in having this, and I don't feel like one necessarily wins out on the other. And if I had to choose one, I would choose just this, right? I want to choose the zoomed in version, but the zoom in version it is nice, and I do think some people will like to play it that way. I'm doing my best to make it like as visually palatable as possible. And I'm happy for that, and I'm happy for like how that's looking. But also, it does kind of like, so right here is a good example, right? There's like the little thing, you can barely see it because there's a lot going on there. You zoom in, it's a little bit more noticeable, even though like it's still, I need to find a way to get it to have the little thing, the little button action notification thing to have a higher Z level. Uh, Theoretically, it should be possible. Just gotta figure out how to make that happen. Um, but it does give like a nicer feel. Plus, you could take a close look at the frogs. That is a frog over there. You see that? That is a frog. um, yeah, though it's nice. I'm happy. I'm really happy with the discoveries I have made in this video, and having the zoom like this, because it gives I don't have to make a sacrifice that way, which I think for in terms of artistic integrity and fluidity, that is the best case scenario. With that being said, I'm pretty close to being done with the whole redesign, the overall redesign. It's mostly just little details here and there, and I'm pretty close to being done with the like basic version of this area. It's not anything that has to be. There's some details I could still do for sure, make it look a little bit more lived in. There's still some stuff I want to do, but I have to have like a baseline done because how because the map changes after the boss battle and after you come back from the hub. So I have to have, and because I have to have that, I have to have those things. I have to have enough of the over part of this done, like the trees and all of that kind of stuff, um, to be able to make all the events happen properly, well enough for me to feel comfortable starting to work on the next area and everything, which I already have like kind of figured out. You're gonna go into after the boss battle, you're gonna be able to go down here. This road won't be blocked anymore. This is gonna be broken because the creature comes out in this area. You're also gonna your little van that I haven't made yet. It's gonna be over here, but it's gonna be destroyed. And then you're gonna come down here, and then you're gonna go into this. I think might need to draw that out a little bit further. I might need to fix that a little bit. Not a big deal. So, but anyways, you'll go down into you'll go down into here, and then it'll launch you into the next spot, and it's gonna be in a wild tunnel area. The tunnels are gonna be like really big, and there's a jackalope that you're gonna follow into a hole, and then you're gonna start going into the real meat of this universe, which is a really kind of out there universe. I feel like, um, you know what I'm doing. I'm trying to mix dark fantasy and Southern Gothic's aesthetics and vibes and tones and everything together, and it's hard, but I'm doing my best, and we will get the best of what we will get. But in here especially, like areas like this, where like here's a good example. Even though the zoom in again, it's not like I could kind of cheat it a little bit, and I could move the certain little areas to give it like, because it's directly to where the player is as much as it can be. So like I could do that if I want to look closer. Like for oh look, I got into the pig's butt. Oh, it's that. What have I done? What have I done? I'm a little poop. Look, it's pooping me out. Okay. Anyways, how do I get out of there? Well, now I seem to be. Am I stuck permanently? No. But yeah, no. I mean, that is what that is. It's not really a big deal. Let's see. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it. Lots been going on in my world, but I feel like I've discovered a lot and got a lot done. I think right now I'm gonna finish up all of these. God, I still have to do I don't know why I'm procrastinating so hard on doing the walking up sprite. I guess I just feel like I don't care that much, but it will get done. It's not a priority, but it will get done. But I think I'm gonna finish up these little things. I already did this one. And then finish up the little world. The act, I guess not really necessarily finishing up, but getting the meat of Act 0 done to move on to the next acts and everything. I think I've already talked. I don't think anything's changed in terms of battle systems and everything. It's mostly just design and a little bit of functionality and stuff. So, but I am very happy with it, with where it is, and with where it's going. And I just wanted to touch base, I guess, because I mean that's a big addition to that. I feel like. Um, Yeah, I can't. I feel I know I'm forgetting something, and I just don't know what it is that I'm forgetting. But I am definitely forgetting something. But at least Lamb is cool, and you could look at Lamb's butt, and Lamb is not a big fan of you looking at Lamb's butts, but you indeed can look at Lamb's butt and make Lamb blush. And it's cute. Lamb is cute. Now it says, rest upon your seat and give love to my pods. And then you could sit and kiss feet, or you could refuse. So that is that. Do you guys think that should I take that middle part off? I kind of I kind of feel like I should take that little middle part off. I feel like it's a little bit, you know what I'm saying? This little middle part up here of the chat, of her chat here, right here. Where is it? There. I think I should take that look like ovaries. I think I should take those out. I feel like they're getting. I think it's a little bit too much. So I'm gonna do that too. But yeah. Yeah. Bye.